alongside my broadcast partner this evening, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, we got a really good one on tap tonight. The Sugar Skulls and the Wranglers. The Wranglers looking to improve, get their 4th win of the season, and the Sugar Skulls looking to get back on track offensively and defensively as well.
James, you mentioned it would be 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Which would be unprecedented
right.
because the team only won 1 game last year. So to get 4 in a row would be unprecedented. To come down here to Tucson, which is a very tough place to play, Tucson Arena. We know how tough it is to beat these Sugar Skulls. This is one of the top offenses in the league outside of the Arizona Rattlers. This team averages 50 points a game, folks. They've scored exactly 200 points in 4 games. So this defense for the Wranglers will be tested tonight. They've got DeQuan Neal at quarterback. He's an absolute monster. They've got Mike Jones at the running back position. We know he is a battering ram. And they have Arthur Jackson at the wide receiver spot, arguably one of the top receivers in the game. So the Wranglers defense led by Rob Keefe is going to be tested tonight. So this will be a really good litmus test to see where they are defensively.
But that defense is a little bit battle tested, even though we've only played a few games here into the 2022 season. The number 1 ranked defense in the Indoor Football League, but they will go up against the league leader, the tie for league lead with rushing touchdowns in Mike Jones. You mentioned his prowess on the offensive side of the football.
So with Mike Jones, you're going to have a really strong defensive line, and we know the Wranglers do have a strong defensive line led by Uric Jones right there in the middle, number 93, manning that nose tackle spot. So it's going to be imperative that that defensive line gets pressure, gets off that offensive line and busts through that offensive line. So when Mike Jones gets that football, he's going to be stopped right immediately at the point of attack because it is crucial to stop that man because he scored 5 touchdowns in 1 game in their season opener here in this very building. So he's liable to go off for another 5 or 6 or 7 touchdowns if you let him. So it's imperative that the defense does not let him score that many touchdowns.
Absolutely not. And speaking of touchdowns, these Wranglers know how to score a few touchdowns of their own. Caleb Barker getting off the schneid offensively after that first game in Vegas, and he has been hot ever since.
Yes, ever since he donned those gloves and everything came back and they had the 3-game homestand, they had to struggle. Of course, we know what happened in week 1 in Henderson, but the offense has completely turned it around. They have righted the ship and just absolutely ran through that homestand. And now we'll see what they do. Is that offense road tested? Are they road worthy? We'll see tonight when they face this arguably one of the worst defenses in the Indoor Football League. There's no other way to say it, James. This team is giving up almost 55 points a game, folks. So if the offense can't get anything going against this defense tonight, then we got to go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely right. And the Sugar Skulls have had their struggles both offensively and defensively, and the Wranglers looking to come in here and get a victory on the road tonight. The first time they've gotten to play one of their in-state rivals this season, so they're very excited about the matchup here this evening.
Of course, James, when you win 3 games in a row, all your confidence is super high when you're the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Now you go on the road and see where you are as far as a football team because you really get together because you had 3 straight at home. Now you got 3 on the road. You've got 1 here tonight against the Tucson Sugar Skulls, next week against Bay Area, and then you wrap up the road trip again going back to Henderson on Mother's Day to take on the Vegas Nighthawks. So it all starts tonight against these Tucson Sugar Skulls.
And look for the Wranglers to continue that defensive pressure up front, led by Uric Jones, Darren Hungerford, among others. They keep after the quarterback. They're relentless, and they play really well in the run game, too, which is very important.
Of course, and last week's the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, Jaquan Artis, he had a fantastic game last week, and we'll hope he has that kind of an impact tonight. Defensively, again, on that defensive line, he is going to have to create havoc and get to DeQuan Neal as often as he did last week. As much as he affected the game last week against Vegas, he's going to have to do the same thing tonight against Tucson if they expect to come out victorious tonight. And I expect the defense to come and have another fantastic game tonight, James.
They will indeed. And the offense is going to come out and be ready to play as well. You see a look at Mercado Anderson right there, one of the studs here over the first couple of weeks for the Wranglers. He's been making plays all over the football field and had himself a pick 6 last week against the Vegas Nighthawks at home.
Oh, yeah, 2 4s up to 27 tackles on the season. He's one of the top tacklers in all of the Indoor Football League. So let's see what number 24 can do tonight, but he is going to be tested. They've got some really good wide receivers here. We talked about Arthur Jackson. He's 6'1", 197. Again, one of the leading wide receivers. He's from Eastern Michigan. They've got Quentin Pedroza. He's 6'4". Carrington Thompson is 6'3". So they've got some length. They've got some size as far as the wide receivers go for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. So it will be a test for the defensive for the defensive backs. But I know that the Wranglers defensive backs, they're aggressive and they like to hit and they like to play very solid defense. They like to play right up on you. So let's see what the Sugar Skulls can do. Can they break that defensive backfield of the Northern Arizona Wranglers.
Folks, we're so glad you joined us here for the pregame segment before tonight's battle between the Tucson Sugar Skulls and your Northern Arizona Wranglers. We will step aside, take a short timeout, and come right back here for a little bit more pregame action. We're hoping to be joined by the IFL Commissioner, Mr. Todd Tryon. We'll also check in up in Prescott Valley, Ed, at the road game watch party there at the Hideout Bar. So stay with us. A lot more to come here in the next 10 to 15 minutes before we kick this one off from the Tucson Convention Center in Tucson, Arizona. We'll be right back here for Wranglers football right after this.
You got a voice, Molly. Use it. Do it for the phone.
Let's do it for the phone. They do so much for you. When I'm out there all alone, there's something we can do. T-Mobile, look at these maps, they don't lie. And faster speeds nationwide. Let's do it for the phones.
Okay, let's do it now. So
Mosquitoes, ticks, pests, the worst. They can spread diseases. She goes round and round the whole yard, sometimes twice. Look at that toy. Yeah, the cobwebs. Fascinating. Danke, Orkin.
We welcome you back inside the Tucson Convention Center here in Tucson, Arizona. Pregame action on the air for the Northern Arizona Wranglers against the Tucson Sugar Skulls. The Wranglers off to a great start here in the 2022 campaign, Ed. 3-1, looking to go to 4-1 on the season tonight. But first things first, they got to battle a very tough Tucson Sugar Skulls team, and they're going to be ready to play.
of course, you know they are. Again, one of the top offenses in the league. Irregardless of what you say about them statistically giving up almost 55 points a game, this is a very prideful football team, and they're not going to give up a victory easily. If they do give up a victory to the Wranglers tonight, it'll be a slugfest. It'll be a battle, just like it was last week against Vegas.
Right now, we are pleased to be joined by the commissioner of the Indoor Football League, Mr. Todd Tryon. He is joining us right now. Let's go ahead and bring him on in. Commissioner Tryon, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time out. You were kind enough to join us during our first game of the season up at Las Vegas, and now we've got you on here about the quarter mark through this 2022 Indoor Football League campaign. Talk to us for a moment about the state of the league right now, and maybe if there's anything that's jumped out at you surprise-wise, maybe some teams that have surprised you here in this 2022 campaign. Obviously, besides the Northern Arizona Wranglers, of course, being one of those surprise teams. Just talk about the league as a whole at the quarter point here.
Well, absolutely. Competitive balance. I think that's what sticks out to everybody. You know, outside of the Arizona Rattlers, which right now I think is a clear cut above everybody else, we've got some serious competitive balance, and I expect some teams to go up and get Arizona. But you know, Northern Arizona, yeah, they are they a surprise to me? No, they weren't. I mean, when you bring a Coach Les Moss and a Coach Rob Keefe in there, experienced coaches, you know, I saw the roster they were putting together. They came out a little slow. But they're going to get the right pieces in place, and as you're seeing, they're a team to be reckoned with.
Commissioner, did you see the rise of the Wranglers come as quick as it has after that week one, after that disappointing game against Vegas? They came on that 3-game homestand. Their offense picked up extremely well, and their defense picked up just as well. They're one of the top-ranked defenses in the league. We talked about that before you came on, sir.
You know, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. And you know, after that first game, nobody really knew, you know, okay, was Vegas that good to hold the Wranglers to what they did, or you know, are the Wranglers struggling? And you know, Coach Moss, I think, did an outstanding job, as to say he made some changes, and you know, players got to buy into philosophies, and you know, I would say 3-1 start was probably a little aggressive if you're sitting here picking the games, but say Coach Moss and Coach Keefe, they've got a winner put together, and you know, you never want to peak the first 20 or the first quarter of the season. You want to peak at the end of the season, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see what transpires here over the next 10 weeks.
Mr. Commissioner, are you excited about the level of talent? So much new talent coming in that's really showing off on each one of these football teams. You look at the stats, and you see all kind of new names and new numbers, and just an influx of so much new talent across the indoor football league. Are you excited by that?
Surprised? No. Excited always. And, once again, it's the expectation. When you have the level of coaching that we have with each team, I think that this is what's expected. Is they spend all offseason out there recruiting and looking for this young talent. And there's a lot of it out there. And these coaches have done an outstanding job of bringing it into their programs.
Commissioner Tryon, the last minute or so we have here with you, tell us about some of the challenges facing the Indoor Football League going forward, and what is the outlook on the league? Where do you see this league in 5 years? The expansion of coverage is evident. That the popularity of the league seems to be increasing. What kind of 5-year plan does this league have?
Our 5-year plan is to continue to grow and break into divisions. And, I'm on an expansion trip right now, and that's why you don't see me, because I don't want to reveal where I'm at. But, we are an exciting league, and, we are a place that, people want to be a part of. And this year, yeah, we got challenges like anybody does. We're still a growing league, and we're going through some challenges, but we got some fun announcements coming up that will shock some people. And, we're just excited for the direction. But, first things first, we got an outstanding night ahead of us. We got 3 games going right now, and we got another one that's going to kick off there in 7 minutes. And right now, all 3 of those games that are going they're one-score games. And I expect nothing different there in Tucson. You guys got a dogfight you're going to get to sit there and call. And it's going to be excited to watch it.
Commissioner Todd Tryon joining us here in the pregame segment. Commissioner, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We know you're out there as we speak, growing the league by leaps and bounds. We appreciate that. We appreciate you stepping aside for just a moment here and talking with us this evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening of football and enjoy the rest of the weekend here in the Indoor Football League. Thank you again for your time tonight.
James and Ed, you too. You guys do a great job, and I think you guys you're gonna have an exciting game to call tonight. So appreciate all you do.
We sure hope so. Thank
sir.
you so much, Commissioner, for joining us. We'll step aside here, take a short, brief timeout, and come right back here right before we kick this thing off here between the Sugar Skulls and the Wranglers, right here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. Stay with us. We will be right back to the Tucson Convention Center in just a minute.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bill or know someone who is, we're here to help. Find APS bill assistance programs to reduce your monthly payment or help pay down the bill. Short-term relief like crisis bill assistance can help during a rough patch, while our energy support program can reduce your bill every month. Explore all your assistance options and see if you qualify at aps.com/here to help.
Halftime and postgame.
How's the internet looking for you?
Well, I'm just trying to get it open still.
Well, it's acting up again?
Yes.
Oh, man.
We live in such an interconnected world at this point that completely relies on internet service for just about everything. And kind of feels like you're a little bit left out.
Wireless internet is an absolute necessity. Small towns have been underserved for far too long.
I work from home as a teacher, and it's a very difficult situation if I have a bad.
Welcome back inside the Tucson Convention Center. We're just about ready for kickoff here between your Northern Arizona Wranglers and the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Ed, let's get some keys to the game right quick, and then we'll take a look at what's going on at the road game watch party up there in Prescott Valley at the Hideout Bar. Tell us what are the keys to tonight's victory here for the Wranglers.
For me, keys to victory, of course, you have to win the turnover battle. You cannot turn the ball over against the Sugar Skulls, again, because that offense will absolutely destroy you if you give them that many more chances. So do not turn the ball over, play smart, sound football, play great defense like they've played over the last 4 weeks, as they are one of the top defenses in the league, and let Caleb Barker continue to grow his confidence in the offense. Let gentlemen like Quentin Randolph, Mr. Randolph's family is watching.
Yes,
so
shout out to them in Florida. It looks like Navarre, Florida.
Yes, so let Quentin and everybody else go off. Glenn Gibbons Jr. and Boom Williams, let his offense go off and let them go nuclear tonight.
They will indeed go nuclear. And let's talk a moment about that offensive line. They've been providing excellent protection up front for Barker and the running backs like Boom Williams to get in the open field and make some plays with their speed.
Of course, we talk about it in the trenches. That offensive line has to stay strong. So Caleb has all the time in the world to sit back there, survey that defense, and see where he wants to pick apart that defense. And on the defensive side, again, that defensive line has got to be able to hit and attack things right at the point of attack. Get to Daquan Neal. Stop Mike Jones. Affect Arthur Jackson. That defensive secondary is going to be tested against Arthur Jackson and the rest of those wide receivers.
It's going to be a great contest here tonight inside the Tucson Convention Center. It's about time for the national anthem. We will maintain our quietness here for a moment, and then we'll check in with the Hideout Bar up there in Prescott Valley. A rousing rendition of our Star Spangled Banner. Check out the crowd there, Ed, at the road game watch party for the Northern Arizona Wranglers at the Hideout Bar. Folks, we see you having a good time there, enjoying some adult beverages, if you will, and getting ready for some great indoor football league action. We appreciate your support. We see you waving out there. We hope you have a great evening, and we want to hear you cheering on those Northern Arizona Wranglers all the way down here in Tucson.
Absolutely.
Special thanks to Kelly for getting that set up for us and giving us the shot of the road game watch party there. If you hadn't had a chance, folks, get out there to the Hideout Bar in Prescott Valley. That is always a good time. The Wrangler fans on hand tonight, and they are getting for a treat here tonight as we look for victory number 4 on the season.
Yes, sir. And the Hideout Bar will be busy the next 3 weeks because we're on the road for the next 3 weeks. So the Hideout Bar is going to be the place to be for the next 3 weeks to a month, folks.
Absolutely right. Thank you, folks, for checking out the game tonight. We encourage you to go ahead and get on over to the Indoor Football League YouTube channel. We're going to sign off for now. About 2 minutes to go here until kickoff inside the Tucson Convention Center. For my broadcast partner, Ed Cole, I'm James Coogie saying so long for now, but don't go too far as we'll come back your way at halftime for our halftime show right back here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. And then at the conclusion of tonight's ball game, we'll be right back here on the very same channel for our last show. Have a great evening. Enjoy the game, folks, and go Wranglers.
Go Wranglers. See you at halftime.